Dear student, welcome to the tutorial on WinISIS. In this particular tutorial, we will be exploring the CDS-ISIS software family. We will be discussing different utilities or different utility software related to CDS-ISIS a group of software, from where they are available, how to utilize that, what are the purposes to use that. These are the things we will be discussing in this particular tutorial. But before that, let me tell you that the last version of CDS-ISIS, that is the latest stable version, is version 1.5 build number 3, but this version is not compatible with the 64-bit operating system, and you have to utilize the 32-bit operating system to install this one. If you want to run this 32-bit system, because CDS-ISIS for Windows is a 32-bit system, and if you want to utilize that in a 64-bit machine, you have to use different kind of VMware or different kind of virtual environment, where you can run 32-bit environment within the 64-bit operating system environment. But I am happy to inform you that you can run the CDS-ISIS for Windows in a Linux machine by utilizing emulator called Wine. So, first in a Linux machine, say for example, you are utilizing Windows instead of Windows operating system, you are utilizing Ubuntu operating system or Debian operating system, different Linux flavors. So, there first you need to install the Wine environment. Wine is again an open source emulator which is available freely from the web. You have to install that in your machine, and then you have to download the 32-bit .exe file of WinISIS version 1.5, and if you open that particular file with Wine loader, then the same Windows based CDS-ISIS can be installed or can run in your Linux machine. So, that is a great news that you can utilize one emulator to run CDS-ISIS for Windows in different Linux flavors. Now, let us move to systematically that what are the different other software families available with the Linux, which is directly related to with your bibliographic database management system. So, before entering into that details, let us have a look into the relationship of between different components of WinISIS. In the screen you can see that the field selection table or field definition table is related with the data into worksheet. Data into worksheet is basically related with inverted file, and FST is actually your inverted file is based on the FST, and database has print format option and different kind of query and search interfaces. So, in each of these components you can have any number of utility software to tackle and to tinker. So, let us explore them one by one. Now, the first screen here, if you see, that is the UNESCO site from where you can download CDS-ISIS for Windows as well as different related software. The first entry is for CDS-ISIS for Windows, second is the GenISIS, third is the information processing tools and different other things like JavaIS, WebList. And here let me tell you that three important utilities are making our job easy. One is the ISISMark, through which you can create a predefined mark format, and we can go on simply entering the record. So, there you do not have to define your FTT, FST and worksheet, all are ready. You just download the ISISMark, install along with your WinISIS, open that particular software, your Mark 21 based FTT will appear, the data entry worksheet will appear, you go on entering records. Now, after your record entry is over, you can export that particular mark record in ISO format, then that ISO format can be converted into .mrc format or mark format by utilizing another utility called Mark 21 Mark Edit. So, by utilizing the Mark Edit software, you can convert any CDS-ISIS generated .iso file into Mark 21 compliant .mrc file. So, these are the array of software. So, first you install WinISIS, then you download the ISISMark and install that in your machine along with the WinISIS. There you can go on entering records, because you do not have to create your FTT, FST and worksheet. and after your job is over you can export that in ISO format, and by utilizing Mark Edit software you can again convert that ISO format into .mrc format. The moment it is available in .mrc format, you can import that particular record set into any ILS like Koha, Sol, libsys, etc. So, you can start your work with CDSIS for Windows, and finally, you can reach to different kind of integrated library system like Koha, NewGenLib, libsys, Sol, etc. Now, other utility softwares available are JavaIS, through which you can run WinISIS in a TCP/IP based network. You already know that we can run WinISIS in a LAN environment, but remember, if we want to have a global deployment of WinISIS, the LAN setup is not going to work for you. So, there you need to have a TCP/IP enabled networking system. So, JavaIS is basically giving us that opportunity through which we can set WinISIS in a global setting. Say for example, your server can be in Delhi and you can enter your record from Kolkata or Mumbai. So, in this way you can utilize JavaIS to have a global network of WinISIS database management system. Otherwise, in the default WinISIS installation, you can go up to the local area network. You cannot go beyond that local area network. Now, full-fledged integrated library systems like WebBliss is coming on the basis of CDSIS, and from that particular UNESCO download site you can also download the WebBliss. WebBliss is a particular ILS integrated library system which is based on the CDSIS, and it gives you the web based architecture. That means, you can enter data through browser, you can open up your OPAC in a browser. So, all kind of sophisticated tools and softwares are now available, and this we called as a whole as a ISIS CDSIS software family. Now, we will be discussing one by one them. Now, first of all, you see these are the in the screen, these are the CDSIS utilities for Windows based operating system. We have ISIS to XML, XML to ISIS. Fortunately, both of these software are now integral part of the latest release of WinISIS. We have IMP-XP2709, which extends the capability of WinISIS for ISO 2709 based export import. In fact, there are 4 different types of ISO 2709. CDSIS supports only one type, but IMP-XP 2709 is supporting all 4 different types of ISO 2709 protocol, and there you can have better freedom and greater options for export import your data sets. Then there are ISIS ASCII, it is a utility through which you can convert any ASCII file into ISIS format. Then there are different other options also available through which you can convert an RDBMS generated record into CDSIS format or ISO format. So, these are the all utilities, all are available from the download portal of UNESCO. The portal is available under unesco.org. Now, if we move to the next option, you see there at the documentation level. Right from the beginning, the documentation of CDSIS is very strong. If you go to the the old manual of CDSIS version for DOS. So, it is almost 450 pages of documentation, and it covers everything is details, and one of the best written manual software manual available in the world. So, you can check the comprehensiveness of that particular manual for CDSIS for DOS, and the same legacy continues with the CDSIS for the Windows. Now, CDSIS for Windows is supported by lot of documentation support. We have a complete revised manual for WinISIS 1.5. We have documentation to configure different kind of pickup list. We have documentation through which we can learn how to run WinISIS in a LAN setup, how to run WinISIS in a TCP/IP setup, how to convert your existing CDSIS based databases into WebBliss for having a full-fledged integrated library system or library automation software, and at the same time you can have different kind of presentations related to critical areas like print format design, display format design, FST design, from the UNESCO.org websites. And this I have shown you already in the previous screen that what are the documentation tools available. Please have a look that here this reference manuals available. So, lot of the related documents you can have from here. ISIS 1.5 reference manual in PDF format, doc format, then a document how to run ISIS in a LAN, etc., and lot of other utilities. You please explore this particular sites, you will get to know that how CDS ISIS is supported by different kind of documentation. Now, CDS ISIS is supported with lot of utility software, lot of documentation, and along with this one particular document released recently through which we can learn that how to utilize ISIS as a digital library system and can export data set over the CD-ROM. The utility is here called the JNISIS, which is again based on a software called www.ISIS. So, www.ISIS is written in C language. It is developed by the Brazilian group of CDS ISIS user. The site is called buyerme.br. From there you can download www.ISIS, and on the basis of www.ISIS you can convert your existing CDS ISIS database into a web enabled format. But the problem of the www.ISIS was that you can only go one way. That means, your database is available, you can open up your database through www.ISIS and people can search your data sets remotely, but they cannot enter data into your data sets. So, the latest utility came is the JNISIS. JNISIS is also available for downloading from UNESCO site, it is supported by UNESCO. It is utilizing www.ISIS in such a way that the both way communication is possible. Now, you can convert your database into web enabled format, so that people can search it remotely over the web architecture through the browser, and at the same time you can allow them to enter data through web browser. So, JNISIS is working in a big way to make your existing available CDS ISIS database to make it available over the web in both ways. You can search and you can enter, and not only that, this utility also allows you to export your data in a CD-ROM, and that CD-ROM is basically self searchable and self installable. Just they followed the model of the Greenstone. Greenstone is a digital library software which allows you to export the entire digital library collection in a CD-ROM or in a removable media, from where you can search, retrieve anything without installing the software. So, the same utility they have tried. Now, by utilizing JNISIS, you can export your data into web enabled format, you can export, you can write the exported data set into a CD-ROM or in a pen drive or any removable media, and from there you can go for retrieving different kind of record and data sets. So, JNISIS is coming in a big way. Please have a look, as the different kind of utilities, installation, configuration and utility of JNISIS is not part of the scope of this tutorial. We are not discussing any further, but my request is that you go and download and you can explore by yourself. Lot of documentations are available, things are easy to set, and nowadays JNISIS also works with different web server like Apache and Zitami, Bitnami, etc. So, you can try by yourself. Now, another thing is that you can have a document from UNESCO sites that this is how to create a digital library by utilizing ISIS software as a whole. The whole 50 pages document is available, and step by step they shown you that how to utilize ISIS to create or to index a full text records by using different kind of modern formatting language like text box option, like a child box option. So, you can go on adding metadata, the full text you can display in a particular text box, and that full text can be searchable at the word level by utilizing indexing technique 4. So, CDS ISIS as a whole is coming in a big way, and you can go for the full text indexing and you can display the full text records and the full text associated data sets by utilizing different text box and child box. Now, next comes the options that if you want to run CDS ISIS for Windows in a LAN setup in your library, how to do it. I already told you that JavaIS is basically meant for TCP/IP enabled CDS/ISIS for Windows, but in a LAN setup you have to configure your syspart.py file properly. Now, if you consider this particular screen, here you see there are two options through which you can run WinISIS in a LAN. Say for example, your server includes or installed with WinISIS, and all of your client have also got the WinISIS installed. So, that is one scenario. Another scenario is that only your server, you actually install the CDS/ISIS for Windows only in your the server, and from all local machine there is no WinISIS software available. You just want to create a link to connect the server. Now, if you want to have the first option, that your server as well as client both have WinISIS CDS/ISIS for Windows installed. So, there you have to utilize the this syspart.py file. 14 must be one to make your CDS/ISIS LAN compatible. Then in the first three option, that is the program, menu, message and work, you can set your local drive, that is C:\WinISIS program, menu, message, work. But data, that is the syspart.py value 5 must be is equal to Z:\WinISIS data, where Z is the map drive of your server. Say for example, in your server CDS/ISIS for Windows installed in the C drive. Now, you can map that C drive of the server into your local machine as a Z drive. Now, you have to replace 5 with in the value option 5 of syspart.py file, C:* should be replaced with the Z:. So, this is the setup where your server and client both have CDS/ISIS for Windows. Now, you think another options, that you want to install CDS/ISIS Windows only in server and your client will have only a link to connect to the server. So, there you need to go for the option 2. You can have a look into the option 2 also. Here what we have to do, definitely we need to set 14 is equal to 1, the value syspart.py value 14 is basically for the network value. If it is 0, WinISIS cannot run on local area network. If it is 1, then only it can run on local area network. But here in this case, as CDS/ISIS for Windows is not available in your local directory or local setup, you have to replace C:* with the Z:, provided the Z:* is the map drive of your server drive. Again, I already told you that suppose your CDS/ISIS for Windows in server installed in C drive, you can map that C drive into your local machine as Z drive, and Z should be replacing all C:* in the syspart.py file. So, there you can create a desktop icon link. The moment you click that desktop icon, it will read your local syspart.py file and it will actually open the network version of the CDS/ISIS for Windows. So, in this way you can set up local area network for CDS/ISIS for Windows, and record locking, data locking, database locking all will be automatic. You do not have to worry at all, but sometimes if record is locked because of the unfortunate or illegal shutdown of the local client, then sometimes in the server you have to unlock the records for its availability for re-editing. Now, in this way we can run CDS/ISIS for local area network, but if we want to have a global setup, that means my server of WinISIS is available in Delhi and I want to access it from Kolkata for searching and retrieving as well as for data entry activity, possibly your answer is the JavaISIS. JavaISIS utilizes ISIS.dll file again developed by the Bayer-Me group, and it allows you to set up your entire CDS/ISIS for Windows over TCP/IP network. So, you can have download option, you can freely download this from the unesco.org site, and you can set up your JavaISIS server and client, and you can open up your existing data sets through the JavaISIS. What you have developed by utilizing CDS/ISIS for Windows, you can expose it for global access by utilizing JavaISIS software. Now, as you know that lot of utilities are available, as I told you, the possibly the most important utility is the ISISMark. If you consider the conversion of your existing bibliographic record from CDS ISIS to an full fledged integrated library system. Now, you see here ISISMark installation is very easy, you simply download it, it is a double click it, but before that your WinISIS must be there. So, it will getting installed along with the WinISIS without any problem, and the moment you open up the data entry window, here you see the existing mark format and how comprehensive it is. You can select any field, you can select just like your CDS ISIS for Windows, you can select the blank data entry window. So, a blank file will be created, you can edit an existing one. If you click this plus sign, the corresponding subfields will be opened, and very interestingly the different mark tags are arranged under different tabs. Say all 00x tab means all the mark fields available with the starting character position 0, 1xx means all the access points like 100 main entity personal name, 110 corporate body, 111 meeting name, 130 uniform title, all will be available under 1xx. Similarly, 2xx will include very some important file like 245 title, 250 edition, 260 different kind of publication and distribution area, and the moment you click the plus sign there, the required subfields will be displayed where you can enter data, and by default the indicator position values will be coming. In some cases you have to change it, they have created a model framework. It is not going to match always as per your requirement, but still it is a great utility because you do not have to, in most of the cases you do not have to write the values for indicator positions also. The repeatability and mandatory nature of different fields already taken care automatically by ISISMark, and I insist you to utilize ISISMark along with the CDS ISIS for Windows if you want to have Mark 21 based bibliographic data entry operation. So, the best part is that you do not have to create the complex FTT based on the Mark 21 format, you do not have to create the data entry worksheet, you do not have to create the FST. You simply install, start entering record, and where your job is over you can export the record in ISO format. Similarly, you can also import other mark records inside the ISISMark. And another important feature is that ISISMark is nowadays compatible with Z39.50 protocol. That means right from here, if you click the database option, it will give you the Z39.50 utility, and by clicking that utility, a Z39.50 client dialog box will appear, in where you can select the Z39.50 server. Say for example, Library of Congress Z39.50 server you want to use, then you give your search term, it will search Library of Congress, it will collect data from that server, and it will open that particular data in your local ISISMark editor, where you can do different kind of editing required, then finally you can save the record and you can have it. So, with this we are closing this particular tutorial. Thank you very much.